Have you ever wanted to create your own animated character in Cartoon Animator 5, but felt it looked far too complicated? You're definitely not alone. Character creation can seem overwhelming at first because there are many parts that need to fit together correctly. But here's the good news. Once you understand the workflow, it's much easier than it appears. In this tutorial, I'm going to simplify the entire process by creating a very basic front-facing character from scratch. I intentionally chose a simple design, not because character creation is always this easy, but because I want you to understand the complete workflow without getting distracted by a complex character. Once you've mastered these fundamentals, you'll have the confidence to build more detailed and advanced characters later. So, if you've been putting off learning character creation because it seemed too difficult, this is the perfect place to start. By the end of this tutorial, you'll know exactly how to prepare your character into Cartoon Animator 5 and get it ready for animation, one step at a time. Let's get started and build your first Cartoon Animator 5 character together. Instead of relying on ready-made templates, we're going to take the simplest and most practical approach to creating a character from scratch. This method helps you understand how a Cartoon Animator 5 character is actually built, its structure, bone hierarchy, and the individual layers that make everything work together. The biggest advantage of learning this way is that you'll be able to modify or replace any body part whenever you want and see the changes instantly inside Cartoon Animator 5. Once you understand the character's anatomy and layer organization, customizing existing characters or creating brand new ones becomes much easier. The best part is that you don't need any advanced technical knowledge or expensive illustration software to follow along. If you have basic drawing skills and can use any simple photo paint or image editing program that supports layers and transparent PNG files, you'll be able to create your own characters using the same workflow. This foundation will make it much easier to move on to more complex characters and professional techniques later in this series. Now, let's take a look at what we have here. The first thing we're going to do is switch to Composer mode, because this is where all the character building magic happens. Composer mode gives you complete control over every part of your character, from its body structure and bone setup to individual sprites and facial elements. Think of it as the workshop where you assemble, customize, and fine-tune your character before bringing it to life with animation. Whether you want to replace a hand, adjust the proportions, or redesign an entire body part, this is where you'll do it. So, let's jump into Composer mode and start exploring how a Cartoon Animator 5 character is put together. Now it's time to replace the default character with our own artwork. The process is surprisingly simple. Just select the body part or layer you want to change and replace it with your own image. Cartoon Animator 5 automatically updates the character, allowing you to see the results immediately without having to rebuild everything from scratch. If you need to make further adjustments, you can edit that same body part directly in your preferred image editor. Whether you're using Photoshop, GIMP, Krita, Paint, Affinity Photo, or any other layer-based image editing software, simply save your changes, and they'll be reflected back in Cartoon Animator 5. This makes the workflow incredibly fast because you can keep refining your artwork while instantly previewing how it looks on the character. This replace and edit workflow is one of the biggest advantages of Cartoon Animator 5. It lets you experiment freely, make quick corrections, and gradually build a unique character without needing to recreate the entire rig. Now let's start customizing our character, one body part at a time. We'll move on to the face. This includes the head shape and facial details that give your character its unique appearance. Replace the existing artwork with your own design and check that everything aligns properly. Since the bones are already assigned, your new artwork will inherit the same animation behavior. If you prefer, you can edit any body part directly in the Bitmap editor you've assigned in the Preferences settings of Cartoon Animator 5. Simply open the selected sprite in your preferred image editor, make your changes, save the file, and the updated artwork will automatically appear back in Cartoon Animator 5. This creates a fast and efficient workflow for refining your character without interrupting the creation process. The eyes play a major role in defining your character's personality, so take your time to get them looking just right. Simply select the eye layer, import your own artwork, and make sure it's positioned correctly. We'll then customize the ears, which can completely change the style of the character. Whether you're creating a human, cartoon, or fantasy character, now let's replace the eyebrows. Although they're a small part of the character, eyebrows have a huge impact on expression and personality. Simply select the eyebrow layer, replace it with your own artwork, and make sure it aligns correctly above the eyes. Try experimenting with different shapes and thicknesses, as even subtle changes can completely transform your character's mood and overall appearance. Now let's replace the body, including the shirt and tie, to give our character a fresh new appearance. Make sure the clothing aligns properly with the neck, arms, and waist so it animates naturally and maintains a clean, professional look. Finally, we'll replace the hands. Hands often contain multiple sprites for different poses, but the replacement process is exactly the same. Next, let's replace the arms. Make sure the upper arm, forearm, and hand align correctly with the shoulder and elbow joints so they bend naturally during animation. A properly aligned arm will give your character smooth and believable movements. While replacing the artwork, you may also need to adjust the layer order. Move certain layers above or below others so that, during animation, body parts overlap correctly and maintain a natural appearance. Spending a little time organizing the layer hierarchy will prevent unwanted visual issues and ensure your character animates cleanly from every pose. Now let's replace the leg. Select the leg layer and replace it with your own artwork, making sure it is positioned correctly so it matches the body's proportions and aligns properly with the joints. One handy feature you'll use a lot is the flip tool. Since most front-facing characters are symmetrical, you only need to draw one arm, leg, ear, or other body part, then simply flip it to create the opposite side. This not only saves a lot of time, but also keeps both sides perfectly consistent in shape, proportions, and style. Once you've completed these body parts, you'll have a fully customized character that's ready for the next stage of rigging and animation. One important thing to keep in mind while creating your character is consistency. Every body part should have a similar outline thickness, line quality, and color style. If one part has a thick outline while another has a thin one, or if the colors don't match, the character will look like it's been assembled from different illustrations rather than designed as a single character. Since we're creating a bitmap-based character rather than a vector character, maintaining a good image resolution is extremely important. Always try to use artwork that's larger than what you actually need. Higher resolution images preserve more detail and give you cleaner results when the character is animated, scaled, or viewed up close. Another important step is optimizing the bone deformation. Let's open the bone editor and adjust the settings for each body part. For bitmap characters, increasing the mesh density creates more deformation points, allowing the artwork to bend more smoothly around the bones. This helps reduce stretching and distortion, especially around areas like the elbows, knees, shoulders, and neck. This ensures that the mesh follows the correct bones without affecting neighboring body parts. Taking a few extra minutes to fine-tune these settings can make a dramatic difference in the final animation. Although these adjustments may seem minor, they greatly improve the quality of your character. Better image resolution combined with a well-optimized mesh results in smoother deformations, fewer visual artifacts, and a much more professional-looking animation. Now let's move on to another one of the most important elements of any animated character, the mouth shapes, also known as Visemes. These are responsible for lip syncing and play a huge role in making your character look expressive and believable while speaking. I've already prepared a custom set of mouth shapes, so I'll replace them quickly to keep the tutorial moving. The process is exactly the same as before. Select each mouth sprite and replace it with your own artwork. One thing I'd highly recommend is using the default Cartoon Animator 5 mouth shapes as a reference. They're carefully designed to produce accurate lip sync animation and cover all the essential speech sounds. Rather than creating an entirely new set from scratch, study how the default shapes work, and then redesign them in your own artistic style. This way, you maintain accurate lip sync performance while giving your character a unique personality and visual identity, Remember, you're not just copying the originals, you're building on a proven foundation. By adding your own creativity to the existing structure, you'll create mouth shapes that not only animate correctly, but also perfectly match the style of your character. With all the mouth shapes in place, it's time to test our work. The best way to do that is by checking the lip sync using a recorded voice clip.
Hey, I wasn't expecting to run into anyone here today. My name's Ethan. I'm still getting used to this place, so everything feels a bit new to me. I enjoy exploring, trying new things, and having good conversations whenever the chance comes up. Anyway, it's nice to meet you. I hope you're having a good day so far.
I'll import a voice recording and let Cartoon Animator 5 automatically generate the lip sync animation. As the audio plays, pay close attention to how the mouth changes between the different Visemes. This is where you'll immediately see whether your custom mouth shapes are working as intended. If any shape looks unnatural, doesn't close properly, or doesn't match the spoken sound, don't worry. Simply go back to your image editor, refine that particular mouth sprite, save the changes, and test it again. This back and forth process is completely normal and is the fastest way to perfect your character's speech. The goal isn't just to make the character talk, it's to make the dialogue feel natural and expressive. A few small adjustments to the mouth shapes can make a surprisingly big difference in the overall quality of your lip sync animation. Now let's exit Composer mode and return to the main workspace. We'll open the Motion Key Editor to see how our customized character responds to the bone controls. This allows us to verify that all the replaced body parts move naturally and are properly connected to the character's rig. As you move different body parts, you'll see how each bone influences the artwork and controls the character's movement. This is a great way to identify whether any joints need further adjustment or if the mesh deformation needs fine-tuning. With the basic character complete, the next step is to calibrate it so all the animation features work correctly. We'll go through the different calibration tools one by one, including head rotation, facial expressions, eyeball rotation, eye blink, and any other facial controls required for a fully functional character. Each calibration step tells Cartoon Animator 5 how your artwork should behave during animation. Taking the time to calibrate these features properly ensures smoother facial performances, more accurate expressions, and realistic head movements. Next, let's open the Face Key Editor to test our character's facial controls. Here, we'll check expressions, eye movement, blinks, head rotation, and other facial animations to make sure everything is working correctly. This is the final step in confirming that our custom character is fully ready for expressive animation. Finally, let's put our character to the test by applying a simple front-facing 2D motion. This is the best way to check that all the body parts, bones, facial features, and mouth shapes work together smoothly during animation. As the motion plays, watch for any unwanted distortions or alignment issues. If you notice anything that doesn't look right, you can always go back, make small adjustments, and test again until you're happy with the result. And that's it. You've successfully created a basic front-facing 2D character using your own custom artwork in Cartoon Animator 5. Remember, this tutorial was designed to teach you the workflow, not to create a completely different character. The example character still shares similarities with the original because I intentionally kept the changes simple to make the learning process easier. However, now that you understand how every part fits together, I encourage you to take the next step. Happy animating, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.